and I'm not like prepared for this. Yo, that's why it's not perfect. All right, it's imperfect. Like Wabi-Sabi. That's it. It's all right. Its full streams is like I'm gonna put all the stream in the YouTube. So I'm gonna make it better. I think I'm not edit this. Yo, I'm not ready to go on the stream yet. I would say this kind of example of the example of Wabi-Sabi. That's very real example. All right, give me 5 minutes, please. Around 5 minutes, I will do something. Prepare for go live. Prepare for go up on stage. Yeah, something like that. Wait, 3, 2, 1. Let's go back. Wait. Yeah, this sound is like, bro, very meditation. Yeah, the topic for today is delay that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and sometimes if you cannot do that, like you do that and you think that it not perfect yet. I get that feel, but and sometimes just let it go. Sometimes it's that it enough. Some people like really lazy, really don't do anything, not do anything, just be that too chill, too much. And the opposite people like intelligent, hustle or intelligent is not related. I would say like lazy and hustle people. They are different. That's right. And yo, I just change the sound first. Should I? Yeah, this word is from Japanese is Wabi-Sabi. Like my English, I have a lot of example for this, for the imperfection, because people don't perfect, and they are try to be perfect, or some people not. Some people don't care about that. Therefore, don't talk about that. Just talk about the side of Wabi-Sabi. I will. No, I will talk in my way first. Yeah. In my opinion, firstly. No. No, listen. Yeah. I will talk about full stream first for today. I will do first time. I will put the full stream on. Yeah. on my channel. And uh, uh, yeah, sometimes I'm really, yeah. People try to be perfect, man. Try to be perfect, but the perfect is don't have in this world. It's don't have no one perfect 100%. Yeah, don't find that. Don't find that. Just think, yeah, that is enough, enough for me. And if you don't, you not, you're not enough for that result thing, like, yeah, in another work, in another task, I will do it better than this. Just be better. Yeah. The end of Wabi-Sabi. And next, I will talk about my full stream. Yeah, real full stream. I already talk about this. Yeah. I don't have plan. I don't have everything. I'm just, yeah, I will do full stream for first time. And I will talking about, sometimes I might lagging because my laptops is not great. Yeah. Not speed or smoothly. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And it's related about the topic today, Wabi-Sabi. We do like, yeah, put the whole stream and create the horror. Yeah. In the first, kind of exciting. All right. We just accept that and let it go. If not perfect, next work, we can do perfect. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go watching the clips. All right. And you should think like, yo, this is not perfect. Everything have impact. Everything have impact. Have respond. You should responsibility from that. So you go as a man, go as a woman. You should have responsibility. Yeah. Sometimes you worry, and not too worry, man. Just log in. Just do something. Like me. For example, like, yeah, I watched this clips. Um, and thinking about, oh, I might got copyright. I probably got that, but fix that problem. Like, yo, shout out to him and so uncle. Yeah, let me borrow these clips, and I really appreciate about this. If you free, feel free. Yeah, something like that. Prepare, man. Just think like, oh, yeah, don't overthinker. Don't be an overthinker. All right. Every problem have the way to solve for sure. All right, let's go. Let's get more detail about Wabi-Sabi, a Japan philosophy. Philosophy? Yeah. philosophy, let's say like this, of perfect imperfection. All right, let's go.
Become the norm. The pursuit of perfection has become the norm in today's world, where chronic dissatisfaction, burnout, depression, and anxiety reign supreme. We've subjected ourselves to unrealistic standards and rigorously chase an ideal that's impossible to reach. Advertisers show us snapshots of handsome people enjoying their favorite drink, dancing among a crowd of fashion models with ever-smiling faces. This uncompromising image of perfect happiness yells at us, "This is how your life should be." And so we try to mimic the sublimity of a lifestyle ideal. We spend fortunes on tweaking ourselves, our lives, our environment, and then flood social media with pictures and videos to show the world the exquisiteness of our lives. Perfection is what we need to accomplish. A perfectly symmetrical face, a perfectly sculpted body, perfect hair, skin, jawline, house, friends, family, partner, children, vacations, or in short, an existence without fault. But this isn't only impossible and exhausting to pursue, it's also unnatural as far as the Japanese worldview of Wabi-Sabi is concerned. Wabi-Sabi rejects the pursuit of perfection and embraces the reality of imperfection. The philosophy behind Wabi-Sabi can help us escape the hamster wheel of chasing an ideal life and teaches us to appreciate existence as it is, perfectly imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect. Wait,
The fifth
wait, let me see it again. Perfectly imperfect. Oh yeah, perfectly imperfect. Perfect in imperfect. Wait. Feel good about you're not imperfect. Feel like enough for the perfect for the fit it. Yeah, that enough me. Thing like
perfect.
that.
The 15th century Japanese ruling classes loved to display their wealth and consumed their tea from detailed Chinese cups, preferably at full moon. Zen monk Murata Shuko, however, sought to change the ceremony from a celebration of riches into a more sober affair by using simple Japanese-made goods. Shuko's successors further transformed the tea ceremony by simplifying the rituals and materials used, adding natural elements, and embracing the transient nature of existence. For example, instead of costly decorated ceramic cups, they used simple, old-fashioned ones, and instead of drinking at full moon, it became customary to drink at a partial or clouded moon. The tea ceremony became a tribute to simplicity, impermanence, and imperfection, and it's considered a prominent historical example of Wabi-Sabi. We can also see the Buddhist elements at the core of Wabi-Sabi, namely the so-called three marks of existence: impermanence, suffering, and emptiness. Many would agree that it's impossible to achieve a clear definition of Wabi-Sabi. The meaning of the words wabi and sabi have changed over time. Nowadays, wabi refers to simple things, but more in a basic, rough, imperfect, asymmetrical manner, as we find in nature. Sabi refers to things touched by time, that show signs of decay or damage. Yes, there's a philosophy behind it, but wabi-sabi isn't the philosophy itself. Perhaps we can best describe it as an experience, a lucid encounter with a transient
hold on. Sorry about this. I will create something. All right.
Imperfect nature of existence. Pursuing perfection is like chasing an impossible dream. We're after a fantasy of wholeness, of an ultimate state, which we ultimately cannot attain. Some see perfection as a subjective experience, as the bar of perfection is pretty low for some people. They'll consider perfect what others would consider flawed. But here's the problem. What others think of as flawed cannot be perfect. There wouldn't be any flaws to detect if it was. Plato argued that perfection could not exist outside of the realm of thoughts. An ideal can only exist in our minds, and the rest is just a replica. Add to that the transient nature of the universe, and the inevitable fate of a near-perfect imitation confronts us, that it falls apart eventually. A near-perfect looking spouse, she will soon fall prey to old age. A near-perfect looking body, it will quickly decay. The more we try to perfect something, the more rigid and fragile it becomes, like perfectly still water is ruined by a grain of sand falling into it. Or, as Lao Tzu stated, and I quote, "It is easier to carry an empty cup than one that is filled to the brim. The sharper the knife, the easier it is to dull. The more wealth you possess, the harder it is to protect." End quote. If you keep your living room in a state of near-perfect tidiness, only a little dust is enough to ruin it. If you walk on your toes to live a near-perfect life, only a little push is enough to sweep you off your feet. And thus, chasing perfection seems to be a fool's errand. It's an impossible goal, as we can only achieve second best, and it's difficult and eventually impossible to maintain. Therefore, chasing perfection often exhausts us, makes us depressed, anxious, and self-loathing, as we burden ourselves with an ongoing sense of lack, of never enough, and the fear of losing what imitation of perfection we have accomplished. It's like desperately trying to keep the water in a pond still and crystal clear, even though we cannot prevent the wind, rain, earthquakes, and other natural phenomena from shaking it up. We, as humans, are not perfectly still, crystal clear ponds, and never will be. Most of us resemble ponds of cloudy water, subject to the whims of nature, the rains and winds of existence, and the fires of inevitable destruction. And with this fleeting, imperfect condition, we resonate with the rest of the world. Imperfection, not perfection, is the natural state. Now, is this a tragedy? From the viewpoint of Wabi-Sabi, it's not. On the contrary, it's the beauty of perfect imperfection.
Teenagers are building businesses with AI.
Keep
Embracing imperfection doesn't mean that we should not self-improve. Self-improvement is okay, as long as it's within reason and without the goal of perfection. Nor does it mean that we make a mess of things. A drug addiction, for instance, isn't perfectly imperfect. Instead, it's a consequence of the inability to accept life's imperfections and pain, and a desperate method to banish all painful elements from one's emotional state. We could say that addicts want to experience perfection, a mental state without pain. But it's the resistance to the darker sides of life that withholds us from experiencing Wabi-Sabi. In Buddhist terms, this resistance leads to dissatisfaction, or dukkha, as we refuse to come to terms with reality, that life is inherently flawed and that nothing we cling to remains the same. Therefore, the desire for perfection is a form of clinging. We cling to an idea or grand vision of how things ought to be, and clinging lies at the root of suffering. Only by letting these fantasies of perfection dissolve can we release ourselves from their torture. Existence has no standards. No stone or tree or mountain has to meet specific requirements. Nature simply brings these manifestations into the world before they wither and disappear. Wabi-Sabi is the experience of how things are, not how they should be, in their imperfect, transient condition. One must be deeply aware of the impermanence of the world, said Dogen, founder of the Soto school of Zen Buddhism. Aging, asymmetry, crookedness, damage, decay, death. Embrace them as an intrinsic part of nature, and you might begin to see the beauty in them, like the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius did. He described his Wabi-Sabi moment as follows, and I quote, "We should remember that even nature's inadvertence has its own charm, its own attractiveness. The way loaves of bread split open on top in the oven. The ridges are just byproducts of the baking, and yet pleasing somehow. They rouse our appetite without our knowing why, or how ripe figs begin to burst and olives on the point of falling. The shadow of decay gives them a peculiar beauty." End quote. Living creatures are supposed to age. Everything created is supposed to break. These are the natural order of things. We could ask ourselves, ironically, is there anything more perfect than a consistently imperfect unfolding of nature? In the
Not to
book
pierce.
Wabi-Sabi, Japanese Wisdom for a Perfectly Imperfect Life, author Beth Campton explains the history and philosophy behind Wabi-Sabi and offers practical solutions to escape the collective pursuit of perfection and embrace imperfection. One of these solutions has to do with setting up our living environment in a perfectly imperfect way. Wabi-Sabi embraces simplicity, for example, but differently from popular forms of minimalism, which generally strive for symmetry, tidiness, and expensive furniture. The minimalism of Wabi-Sabi rather lies in asymmetry, not being overly tidy and not replacing an old couch with a designer sofa, simply because it looks better. Instead, we make an inventory of the things we have, remove what we don't need, cherish what's left, and only buy something new when we truly need it. We'll end up with a not-so-perfect interior, probably with damaged furniture, chairs that don't match the couch, cracks in the walls, and tableware we've bought at a thrift shop. Talk about beautiful imperfection. We can increase the Wabi-Sabi experience by taking nature into our homes. We can take pine cones and pieces of wood from the forest and seashells from the beach as decorations to create a more naturally imperfect feel. Campton also teaches us to see ourselves and each other in another light, not through the lens of ruthless perfectionism, but with an appreciation of flaw. We're not perfect, we're not supposed to be, nor should our goal be perfection. Instead, we're much better off accepting who we are and enjoying how things are. I quote, "Put simply, Wabi-Sabi gives you permission to be yourself. It encourages you to do your best, but not make yourself ill in pursuit of an unattainable goal of perfection. It gently motions you to relax, slow down, and enjoy your life. And it shows you that beauty can be found in the most unlikely of places, making every day a doorway to delight." End quote. A way to
Delight.
practice slowing down is so-called forest bathing, in which we walk through the forest very slowly. Instead of being goal-oriented, going from point A to point B, we focus on the beauty of nature and open ourselves up to its healing capabilities. Spending time in nature is proven to reduce stress, anxiety, and worry. It helps us detach from our industrialized society, full of judgment and expectation, and reconnect with the vastness of the universe, welcoming us just as we are. Nature is perfect imperfection and operates without judgments, without hurry, without trying to be more than it is. In nature, we find nothing but asymmetry, crookedness, and decay. Nature creates. Nature destroys. Everything is in motion. Nothing ever lasts. If we happen to see the beauty in all of this, we experience Wabi-Sabi. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for teaching us for this. Let's say, to be honest, I did not understand all sentence, all mostly, I really mostly, but I just know that embrace the imperfect, stay with that. Nature create and nature destroy. Stay at the present. Life is life. This is 4 years ago that this clips. And next we go to the Yeah, let's go. Go back. Let's go. It's maybe great.
When it comes to what things look like, the Western world is obsessed by perfection, by symmetry and ideal proportion. This is a
I'm lacking and I'm back. All right.
taste for beauty
all right.
shaped by a reverence for universal laws, mathematics, and an appetite for the perfect and the eternal. Japanese aesthetics are, however, very different indeed, and the core of the difference is captured in a term for which Western languages have no direct equivalent, a term known as Wabi-Sabi. Wabi-Sabi refers to the beauty of the impermanent, the imperfect, the rustic, and the melancholy. It derives not from a love of invincibility, youth, and flawlessness, but from a respect for what is passing, fragile, slightly broken, and modest. Wabi-Sabi believes that things are always more beautiful for bearing the marks of age and individuality. A trickle of glaze or a beautifully repaired crack on a piece of pottery are to be appreciated rather than made invisible. Wabi-Sabi's history is intimately linked with Buddhism and its suggestion that wisdom comes from making peace with our transitory, imperfect, and unheroic natures.
Peace.
Kyushu, Japan, 1191. A monk known as Eisei returns to Japan from China with plans to create Japan's first Zen Buddhist temple. Zen presents a challenge to Japan's indigenous religion, Shinto. Zen offers a complex philosophical system which presents nature with its constant cycles of life and imperfect patterns as a focus of meditation and a lens through which to understand our own transience and emptiness. Zen will go on to be the philosophical bedrock of Wabi-Sabi. 14th century Japan. The meaning of two words, wabi and sabi, begin to evolve and become more positive than they had been. Wabi had originally meant the misery and loneliness of living in nature, away from human consolation. But its meaning now shifts to
Wabi.
refer to an almost exquisite, bittersweet melancholy at being on one's own. Sabi, meanwhile, which had originally meant chill, lean, or withered, starts to denote the marks of aging and wear which can enhance an object. It refers to a positive impermanence and the welcome and noble signs of time. The ancient patina of a pot or a crack, beautifully mended, are now called sabi. Kyoto, 1488. Murata Shuko sits down to write a letter to his student Furyuchi Choin. This document will come to be known as the Letter of the Heart and will define the ideal way that one should drink tea, the tea ceremony, and lays out the aesthetic of Wabi-Sabi. The tea ceremony had originated as a way for monks to stay awake in order to practice long periods of Zen meditation. But recently it's been overtaken by the ruling class of warlords or shoguns. They use it as a way of showing off expensive vessels and utensils imported from China. The tea ceremony has become flashy, often in elaborate and gaudy surroundings, and has slipped a long way from its spiritual roots. Now, Shuko redesigns the tea ceremony with the ideals of Wabi-Sabi in mind. The fashion at the time is to enjoy tea on a balcony while looking at the full moon, but Shuko claims that he has no taste for the full moon. Instead, he urges his student to appreciate the more subtle interplay of shadows on the half of the moon or the partially clouded moon. He also stresses that one should abandon the perfect and lustrous tea drinking cups of the Chinese, which seem to evoke the flawlessness of the full moon, and instead to commission more rustic ware from Japanese artisans who will make little errors in the glaze and let these be a deliberate part of their work. Kyoto, 1582. Sen no Rikyu is summoned to the service of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a powerful warlord who unites the warring factions of feudal Japan. He commissions Rikyu to create a tea ceremony that can help to foster peace. Along with Shuko, Sen no Rikyu is revered in Japan as the father of the modern tea ceremony and the most perfect practitioner of Wabi-Sabi. A story that is most often used to illustrate the spirit of Wabi-Sabi is taken from his life. One day, Rikyu asked a disciple to clean his tea house, and the young boy worked all day to scrub and sweep every inch of the house and garden. When Rikyu came to inspect it, he reached up and shook a maple tree overhanging the path. The sprinkling of leaves that fell brought Wabi-Sabi to the scene. Thus, the man-made and the natural, artifice and random chance were united in a perfect expression of beauty and wisdom. Rikiu goes further than Shuko in undermining the high tastes of the shoguns and strips everything non-essential from his tea ceremony. The pots he uses are often directly taken from peasant environments or are modelled after a particularly rustic roof tile that he spots while walking through a local village. Rikiu also codifies the movements of the tea ceremony, creating the perfectly economical and graceful motions for preparing tea with a minimum of fuss, thereby adding wabi-sabi to the very core of the ritual. Unfortunately for Rikiu, his boss, the warlord Hideyoshi, comes from a peasant background and begins to fear that the whole process is maybe an elaborate joke at his expense. This causes him to order Rikiu to commit harakiri. In an eerie parallel to Socrates' demise, Rikiu holds a final tea ceremony among his closest friends before obediently stabbing himself through the stomach. Today, all the great schools of tea trace their lineage back to Rikiu, and all follow the motions and traditions that he set out. The maker of the humble tile that he so admired was known as raku, and raku pots are still made today and appreciated as the greatest embodiment of wabi-sabi. If you take tea in the Silver Pavilion in Kyoto, the birthplace of the formal tea ceremony in Japan, you can drink from the same cup as the troublesome Hideyoshi once sipped from.
Oh, real? Ceremony? Ceremony means festival? Celebration?
1684, Matsuo Basho, the father of the haiku and Japan's most revered poet, sets off on the first of his great pilgrimages. These aimless wanderings will take him to the heart of solitude and nature and help him to capture the spirit of wabi-sabi in words. A depressive with a great talent, Basho takes joy in wandering the dangerous roads around Edo disguised as a beggar. Here he distills the fragile beauty of the sights around him into poetry that tries to spot the eternal through the fleeting moment. We can hear the beautiful desolation in one of his most famous haikus. Solitary now, standing amidst the blossoms, is a cypress tree.
Awesome.
Ginza District, Tokyo, 2013. An enormous new outlet of Louis Vuitton opens, built by the Japanese architect Yun Aoki. 45% of all Japanese women are now estimated to own a bag by the French luxury goods firm, featuring Western ideals of shininess, perfection, and symmetry. Wabi-sabi is, like many traditional Japanese ideas, under enormous threat from the consumerist values of the West.
Oh,
Wabi-sabi is at one level an idea that relates to pottery, drinking tea, and the history of Japan. But at another, it's a lesson for all of us, for all times, because the place we really have to come to terms with imperfection, melancholy, and age is in ourselves. Wabi-sabi is a giant marketing effort which urges us to take a second look at what we might otherwise dismiss or treat with disdain. It recognizes that our tastes are not fixed, and that if someone with talent and artistic grace urges us to look more sympathetically at some moss, a slightly wonky teacup, or indeed the wise, wrinkled face of a friend or relative, we will be able to find charm and beauty here too. Our notions of beauty and interest are relative and open to change and improvement. With the ideals of wabi-sabi in mind, we may learn to find greater satisfaction in the humbler moments, in a walk down a slightly crooked path on an overcast autumn day, or in a less than blemish-free house, face, or soul. If you like our films, take a look at our shop, theschooloflife.com/shop. You'll find lots of thoughtful books, games, stationery, and more.
Let's say you just had a big row with someone close to you. They behaved terribly, maybe broke something and said something hideous to you.
Animation.
It's so tempting to give...
Yeah, I think this clip is used like the easy word than this. This is like old gender and this is a new gender. Yeah, I think yeah, in my point. Yeah. I understand. I'm still not understand, but not much. Yeah, like I say, they use the hard word. I'm beginning at English, man. But I try. I try to don't use my language. Or it can call berry, two berry. I don't know. But for me, if I have someone to talking, I think I can improve than this. Yeah. Like yeah. If I talk mistake, you teach me. You teach me. I will say first like yeah, I'm learning English. So we're talking about Wabi-Sabi, perfectly, imperfect, and let's see about mistake. Comedy. Yeah. Yeah. And we embrace that. Hug that. Embrace. Embrace all of that mistakes. Mistakes make you grow up. Let's go. Comedy without horror? That's it. Comedy. Nerd only. Yo, nerd only? This channel now? Oh, God.
Hello, Cindy.
No. I think it's not right. Into idiot. This is movie? I think from Indian? I don't know. Scares. Mistakes? English? He speak English?
मैं उबर से जा रहा था मम्मी के साथ एंड
He not
रेड लाइट
speak
पे एक भिखारी
English.
आया
Hmm. That's mistakes. I show the songs. An issue in mind, knowing that something wrong, the first step is beautiful step. I think that a lot of people don't. Here we go. Oh, this is from automatic captions. You speak. To be honest, first time I think he like what is his name? His name like Kodak, yeah. Kodak back. Yeah, I think so. I think this is a good. My
Have you
two
ever
duck.
wished to be
Oh,
someone who is
alright. That's comedy. All right, let's go. The comedy. Oh, comedy show is like just this speaking. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Oh my god. Yeah. For full swim, real time, real life. I just want to do something like relate to the topics, man. Hmm. Hmm. Yo, remember everything like the Japan student? Japanese. Hmm. The iPhone 17 is out yet? Maybe out. They release level that. I think so. Hmm. And for uncle, we don't have much time. Yo, Max, master of your destiny, unleash your genius. Hmm. True love couldn't be the complicated. Oh, look, he doesn't give. Not to be shield guy, man. If you have money enough, I think you can be. And practice your heart, your feeling too. Yeah. 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 This is the. We have way to fix this. We have way to do this. Harder. The shield in your mind, man. I think goes too well. Yeah. Hmm. Mistakes. Mistake. Wrong. To love shouldn't be the complicated. Nostalgia. Hmm. Yeah. Show everything. Show everything. Yeah. Medieval night by the fire. Ambience, peaceful, music for relaxation. Yeah. What? Where? It show like who follow me? Yeah, all right. I appreciate that. And I put this for full stream. Yeah, appreciate that for 10 followers right now. We did it. 10 followers. Yeah. I love y'all. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. For today, I'm learning about mistake, Wabi-Sabi. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm trying to know detail of this word. Learn to embrace why you're not perfect. Or just let it go. Sometimes just let the small point or big point go. If you cannot fix today or solve today, tomorrow you have a chance. For some time. But for some in another way, I use the rule like 1 minute. If you can't do that, just 1 minute. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, sometimes this rule come to my mind, and yeah, let's go. Doing that. But if you're too tired, just relax. If you're too tired, that's it. I forgot something. All right. Stay for mistake. Do mistakes. I have a lot of mistakes, but I'm just learning that. Learn from that.
Appreciate that.
What? Yeah. Share that. For sure. Yeah. Keep on silent relaxation. Relax time. Sometimes you just keep quiet, peaceful. Love yourself. Just love yourself, bro. Love yourself. If you not love yourself, you cannot love another one. For sure. Very, very sure, man. I'm thinking out when I'm thinking about sleeping, but still swimming. Like I will end this stream and the next I swim until I wake up. It's just I'm just sleeping. I think so. I wanna try that. But my camera is my no, don't talk about that. Let's talk about that in the another stream. It's kinda dead. On next stream. I wanna try. I think like, yo, how can you stay? You can stay until the morning? My camera? Yeah. I'm gonna charge. My camera is my phone. My phone. I'm gonna go soon. And this, thanks for watching. For this my first full stream. Love ya. Peace out. Have a nice day, nice weeks, nice years. Love ya. Yo, let's go crazy. Go crazy. This night. Don't have plan. Don't have much plan. Just do it. Do it. Log in. Keep going my laptop. You're not crazy with me. You're not insane with me. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.